Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we hit. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we hit. We started from the bottom, now we hit.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we hit. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get.
Back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. This is the show all about how to make your wallet grow, how to grow that business. And I'm going to tell you what we are so excited. That's Dr. Z, Dr. Zellner, myself. I'm Clay Clark, SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. He's the optometrist turned tycoon. We're so excited to help you grow your business that we would take time out of our schedule to teach you how to grow a business. And we thank you for taking time out of your schedule to learn how to grow your business. So it's kind of a symbiotic relationship because we love helping you grow your business and we love hearing feedback from you and the specific questions that you have. And so today we are going to be Inside the Box That Rocks, broadcasting to you, answering your questions that you've emailed us to info@thrive15.com. And Inside the Box That Rocks today, we are joined with my incredible wife of 15 years. She's wearing an incredible white coat. If you're on Facebook Live right now, apparently the office temperatures have gotten too cold for her. Vanessa, how are you?
Cold. I'm great. Doing great. Loving the coat. Loving the warmth in here.
You don't like the 60-degree weather that's designed to keep everybody awake all the time?
I felt away. This is how I deal with it. I just wear coats all the time.
Okay. All right. She's kind of in defiance of our cold culture.
I think she's still on a chocolate high. I mean, Valentine's Day was yesterday. I think she still has a little chocolate around her mouth. I mean, she's probably just pounded chocolate all night long.
Got it in my pockets. Just
got it in her pocket. Just little sweet sweets, you know. Because I know, Clay, you probably just flood her with chocolates and candy. And
here's my deal with my wife.
That little outfit you were talking about.
He's
the Cupid outfit running around the house with your bow and arrow.
My wife understands moderation, and I don't get it. I'm serious. There's one thing she can do. She can get like a bunch of chocolates and just kind of put them around the house and just have a couple at a time. For me, it's like I just want a bag at a time.
Yeah.
Like I want no chocolate or all of it.
When I grew up, I'd go over to a friend's house and have these little bowls of candy out. I'm like, what in the world is going on? I'd put it all in my pockets as fast as I could.
Yeah, exactly.
What are they thinking?
It's either all in or all out. I think it's an entrepreneur trait. It's like either I'm not going to have any chocolates or I'm having all of your chocolates.
Yeah, exactly. So around our house, we had a lot of kids. And I mean, if you put out a bowl of candy, I mean, you better watch your hands because it's
well, my things are hidden. I will say that. I don't just leave them lying around because they would all be gone.
Now, here's the deal, Thrivers. We have some great questions today in our stack of stuff. We have 4 incredible questions. But before we do that, I want to start, Z, with another win of the week. Z, are you excited for the win of the week here? This is our win of the week. It's actually the win of the day, I guess.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. We had a whole list of questions to get to yesterday. We only got to about half of them. But those questions were awesome, by the way, that we deep dived into. So if you missed yesterday's show, get on thrivetimeshow.com and you can listen to the podcast as much as you want to. You can just kind of just read and listen to that thing all day long if you like.
Well, today we have 4 questions, and I'll get into our big win of the day here. So 4 questions, okay? We have Thrivers that want to know about how do you find time to optimize your website? That's question number 1.
All right.
Question number 2 is pricing. How do you price something? How do you actually go out there and price a product? The next is how do you stay in touch with leads? Former leads, former customers, people that maybe said not now, but maybe later. How do you do that? And the 4th question is how do you determine your biggest limiting factor? Like if your business won't grow, how do you know what you need to do to grow it? And we're going to get into all of those, but here's the win of the week. Z, are you excited about the win of the week?
I love winning. Winning is just the best. And that's what we're on this show, is to coach people up to win, right?
Here we go. It is the Thrive win of the day and the week. This just in, FishFlix. If you go to fishflix.com, they're now number 4 in Google. So if you type in Christian movies in the whole world in Google, he's been working on this. He's been plugging away with help of the Thrive15.com coaching team for over a year and a half. And he just now hit page 1, baby.
Woo!
And I'm going to tell you what.
Big victory.
If you are on page 2, it's like your website doesn't exist. But when you're on page 1, everybody's buying his DVDs.
Money cometh.
Oh, money cometh. Wow.
I tell you what,
throwback there.
Yeah, that could be a 7-figure move easily. Just going from, like you said, page 2 to page 1 is a huge move. You're on page 7. You're like, why are people not finding my website? And you're like, well, it's. I don't know the last time you flipped through 7 pages of Google searches to get to the site.
Not even your mom will do 7 pages.
Well, I'll say this. Now that I know how Google searches work, like I'm the one person who will go and like go deep dive because I'm like, well, they could still be legit and just not know how to optimize. Let me see if I can find them.
They could.
If I'm really looking for something.
That could be the case. You're so sweet.
I got to tell you something that Vanessa and I did this past weekend. It was a time of
build it
love.
up. Build it up. This is good.
A lot of people say, "What do you guys do on the weekends? What's your move?" And I'll tell you what we did this weekend.
Moves.
We said, you know what, we've got a spare 24 hours. So what we're going to do is we want to get Thrive Time. Now, if you
we're on a mission.
Get out your computers, Thrivers. Type it in here, Z.
Okay. All right.
If you type in America's #1 business coach, guess who is now page 1 and the top of page 1 in the Google? Bing, 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 bing. It's Z, and the answer is, do you see it? Do you see it, Z? It's
Clay Clark.
Oh, and then if you scroll down 2 more spots, what do you see there? Do you see the Thrive Time show, Z? Do you see it?
Oh, yeah.
This makes my heart so happy.
So Vanessa and I'm just telling you, what we did is we optimized. And the reason why we didn't delegate that is it requires a certain amount of strategic thinking. And so many people are typing in Thrive 15 reviews. And we have so many of you who've been kind enough to shoot a video testimonial or send us a text about how it's helping your business. And so we optimized all that. And so we spent, I'm not kidding, I think we spent about 24 man hours.
We had a strategy too. So there's a couple different ways we do it. We can either get out laptops and lay side by side. I'm not joking, and go through and do this, or Clay will be in like super hyper focused mode, and he goes into the man cave and he's doing it, and then I'm bringing him like the food and stuff. So we're kind of switching, and then later at night we're hanging out with the kids. We're back on the laptops side by side, and we're telling them, guys, 30 more minutes, then we're all gonna watch this epic movie. We watched The Jungle Book, which is really, really, really good. Surprisingly,
the new one.
Yes, we'd never seen it. We're entranced by all these animals.
Oh, I did. The Jungle Book has a special place in my heart. When my daughter was young, we'd always play it, and I always got to play the part of
Mowgli?
No, she was Mowgli. She'd strip down to her underwear.
Whoa!
If you're listening, Dr. Anderson,
I hope you were Baloo. I hope you were Baloo.
I was Baloo.
Yes.
I was Baloo, and she was Mowgli, and we would reenact the entire Jungle Book, not on a daily basis, but on a pretty much every other day basis. As soon as that movie would start, bam, she'd be down in her underwear, jumping around the house, being Mowgli, and I'd be Baloo. And we performed Jungle Book many, many times, by the way.
I love it.
Now, here's the deal, Thrivers. I'm just telling you this. We're going to answer a question now from a Thriver. This is a very great question. It ties right in here to this whole search engine game. This is from a Thriver in Toronto by the name of Sonia.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. You're listening to the Thrive Time Show.
And Z, I went ahead and got the Canadian National Anthem queued up here because I know that you're a big Canadian National Anthem fan.
Oh, yeah.
So let me get that going here. Let me kind of get that move here.
I'm a big Justin Bieber fan.
Remember the victims. Let me get it. Oh, we got to get, here we go. He's getting emotionally ready, this guy who's singing it here. This is from Ottawa. Here we go. Oh, wow. Oh, that's the national anthem. Why are we not getting the Canadian? We'll have to come back. There's too much hype, and I got to come back and get more accurate Canadian national anthems.
Oh, my gosh. That's just such a...
The song goes like this. Oh, Canada, my home and native land. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. That's the deal. So anyways, here we go.
You know it.
I do. I've watched a lot of, Montreal Expos versus Chicago Cubs games back in the day. But here's the deal. This is the question. She says, how do I find time to render videos and do search engine optimization? Well, Sonia, we have the specific answers for you. I'm going to walk you through this. If you're gainfully employed, and because according to Forbes, 57% of people want to start a business, but they currently have a job.
And they should keep their job, start your business, and that's the thing people do all the time is say, well, how do I fund it? How do I get the money? Because I want to start this business, and then I want to just quit everything else. We're like, don't quit everything else. Start your business small and then build it. We're going to help you do that. But this is a great question. You guys kind of pre-answered it. You guys gave like a
life
teaser.
demonstration.
Yes, you did. You kind of pre-answered this question before you even asked it by your little story.
This is what Clifton Talbert told me back in the day. I told him I'm having a hard time finding time to think strategically about my business.
Okay.
This is about 15 years ago, and I was like, man, I know what to do. I just don't have the time to do it.
Right.
And
which is where I think the majority of people are in most cases, right?
Time management is so big. We could spend years talking about this subject because it's so important. Once you get it right, life changes. And so he said, check it out. Are your kids typically up like at 3 a.m.? And I'm like, no. He said, what about 4 a.m.? I go, no. He's like, 5, no. 6, no. 7, no. 8. I'm like, sometimes. He goes, well, why don't you just between 3 and 8, those 5 hours, uninterrupted, that's when you think strategically. Or you could do it after they go to bed. After they go to bed. Whatever you need to do. He said, you only need to sleep about, 6 to 8 hours. So maybe you hang out with your wife and then you go to bed around 9 o'clock and you get up like at 2 or 3. Either way, just set your alarm, get 5 or 6 hours of sleep and you'll be fine. And I'm like, huh? Well, he's the guy who's in the military. And in the military, that's normal if you're in the military. You just, you go to bed and the dude wakes you up with something kind and courteous and nice by like,
sweet,
wake up, private. And you're like, oh, so the thing is that you just have to block out time. So what I do with the kids on the weekends when I'm doing these big SEO projects, these deep dives, is I'll just set the alarm for 3 a.m. and between 3 and 8, they don't even know I'm gone because I'm uploading at the house. I'm doing the rendering. I'm doing the SEO. Yeah. That's a move. The other thing is you can do it where you're working on it with your spouse. And so, Vanessa, can you talk about how we kind of work on some projects together sometimes?
Yeah, especially when we have a really big project, daunting thing going on, we think, okay, why don't you tackle this part of it and I'll tackle that part. So we kind of divide out, I guess, our different roles. Or sometimes if it's big enough, we'll both do the same thing. You'll teach me, hey, this is what I'm working on. And we both have laptops, so we'll go side by side and hang out. And then we'll take a break and we'll go to the gym and get in the sauna. I mean, just kind of like silly stuff, but your mind needs a break if you've been doing something straight for 3 hours or whatever.
And I do take you to Oklahoma Joe's with me. That's true, right?
You do take me to Oklahoma Joe's. You take Aubrey.
She won't eat it. She won't eat any barbecue.
I don't want to say that on there. I feel like this is like, I can't.
No, you got to be real. You got to be real.
Okay, my real self, I am the pickiest person in the world. I know it is so good. I just can't bring myself to try it. But
because it's meat. Because you don't eat meat. Anything that's meat or near meat, you won't touch it. But the thing is, I'll sit there, I'll go there and I'll make her hang out with me and I'll eat it while she's just watching me eat it.
Do you slow chew it?
He feels like he's like putting me through some sort of like torture test. I'm like, go ahead.
You're like, you don't do the What About Bob kind of movie thing where these guys sit there slow chewing.
He loves that.
Oh, so good.
Now, Vanessa, when I've shown you how to do the SEO, because you've never done search engine before.
That's correct.
But how long did it take you to learn the process of how to upload content to a website, which, by the way, we just showed today, is now made FishFlix top in Google and has made Thrive top in Google. How long did it take me to teach you how to do that?
Oh, I mean, it's so quick. It's just you showing me a couple times and me knowing what
How many hours? How many hours?
No hours to learn how to do it.
So you're saying, Z, she's claiming people could learn how to make a 7-figure bump in income by coming to a Thrive 15 workshop. And you're saying when I taught you how to do it in like, 30 minutes?
Yes, but I will say this. The number one thing you have to do is you have to have someone who actually cares who is doing it. That is why Clay and I do it ourselves. Because if you delegate this out, that's fine to do, but you have got to make sure the person cares, because I want to say the majority of videos that you and I were doing in the beginning, we were correcting mistakes that people made who'd uploaded this and didn't care. And the videos were just named numbers. They were named random stuff. Everything was all smushed together into one word with no spaces. I was like, what is this? Who could ever find
The thing about SEO is it requires
you have to care.
Care, and you have to have logical thinking skills. So I would just say, like for me, no matter how many times you try to teach me how to fix a car, it's not happening. I don't get tools. I don't understand tools, but I do understand how to write well. So I'd say the key skills, you have to be able to write and spell correctly, and you've got to want to do it. And there's some people that want to do it, they just can't spell correctly, and it's sort of a...
And you have some hacks that I believe our listeners can use. You want to share those that really, really help?
Now, Z, when we get back, we're going to get into a few more specifics about search engine optimization, and then we're going to move into pricing. Because so many people want to know, how do I price my product? How do I do it? And you appear to be kind of like the Zen master of pricing.
Because I'm just sitting over here.
I just want his ninja outfit on.
Just zenning. Well, they both start with Z, so that's a plus.
The Zen master of Z and pricing. All All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back into the Inspiration Conversation. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. In your ear, sent here to teach you how to start and grow a successful business. And as always, I am joined inside the box that rocks, which is located on the left coast of the Arkansas River, by the man with the plan and the co-host with the mo-host. It's Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you?
I'm a little intimidated today.
You are.
We had the holiday, Valentine's Day. I get a little weirded out when I think about you and your Cupid outfit running around the house chasing Vanessa. But that's kind of, yes, that's old news.
That's what's led to the majority of my arrests.
Well,
is that outfit.
That's what led to the majority of your children.
Oh, wow.
But here on my desk, you and I are big fans of the wood by the name of pinion wood.
Oh, I love pinion wood.
And so we have random pinion wood scattered around the box that rocks. And our producer, I affectionately refer to him as a lumberjack.
He is a lumberjack.
He is a lumberjack. And the other day, he opens up his briefcase and he literally pulls a hatchet out of his briefcase. I mean, like he carries it around.
Like I would carry around a pen.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's a little weird, you know. And so today, the hatchet is buried into a piece of pinion wood on my desk, and it's a little intimidating.
It's a sign of that he has now.
Here, get over there on Facebook.
Look at
Live
that.
Stream. There you go. That's just impressive.
It's a
That's
way
just
for him
impressive.
to show that he has aired all of his grievances. All grievances have been solved. He's buried the hatchet. But if for some reason people think there's a lingering issue, he might have a spare hatchet.
Well, to me, it's a sign of love because it's like, you know, like when you have a cat that loves you, it'll leave a dead rat or a dead mouse or some dead animal on the front porch, and you open the door and you're a little freaked out at first, and then you smile and say, "Oh, look at that! Roscoe, my one-eyed cat, really loves me."
I used to think it was weird when we would find the legs of frogs scattered around the parking lot, but now I understand Sam's just showing us love. Thank you, Sam.
He's just showing us love.
Now, Thrivers, we have a very special guest on the show today. We have Mr. Roger Brune on the show. He is sort of a big deal, and he's a guy that does something that I think is very, very interesting. If you've never heard of this kind of thing, what he does is there'll be a business out there that maybe is bankrupt or it's distressed and it's struggling in some capacity. That could be like in healthcare, aviation, real estate, finance, a myriad of industries. And what he does is he helps them actually, he actually helps buy these businesses and fix them and turn them around. And the idea is when you buy a distressed business, you don't want to crash and burn that thing into the ground. You want to buy it, fix it, get the right. So he's kind of like I would say a business fixer. How would you describe yourself to the average third grader who might have tuned in while their parents went into Oklahoma Joe's to get some baked beans or something? How would you describe yourself?
Well, you guys know that movie, Michael Clayton. He was the fixer in that show, and yeah, I think of myself as a bit of a fixer. First of all, we have to finance them and get them out of bankruptcy, and then we send in some good management, and ultimately the goal is to force a distressed company into a healthy place.
Okay, force a distressed company into a healthy place. So we have the Thrivers out there who, many of them are in sort of a distressed place where they're going, hey, I want to start a business, or maybe I did start a business, but it's just not working. I don't know how to make it grow. And we have a lot of questions from these Thrivers. And Z, specifically, one of the Thrivers in Canada, Sonia, she's in Toronto. She asks, how do I find time to render videos and do my search engine? And Vanessa and I talked about the technical aspects of it. And bottom line here, Sonia, you're going to have to block out time to get it done. And I'm telling you, at our workshops, our next one is February 24th and 25th. That's a Friday and Saturday. We will teach you from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. a myriad of things: time management, marketing, sales, search engine optimization, those kind of things. And you can learn in about an hour of what to do. But then finding the time to do it is the big challenge people have. So I'm saying, yes, you need to block out time. But Z, I'd like for you to get into the specifics of where the average listener, and you talked about it yesterday a little bit, but where the average listener is just not doing the right thing as it comes to time management. And here are like some specific steps that you might recommend here.
Well, there's two moves you can do. One, you can reassign time that what you're doing now, and two, you can create new time. Reassigning time means, a study came out and the average adult is watching 5 hours of TV a day.
Oh, that's nice.
5 hours of TV a day. And if you think about it, okay, so let's reappoint that and just say, okay, just give me 2.5 of them. Give me 3 of them. You get one show You can DVR it and watch it, and all the rest that's on that DVR, we're going to push that to the back burner. Okay.
Prime video rendering time, really.
Exactly.
That's how I see it.
Prime video rendering time. So you can reassign what you're doing. The other move is you can do like Clay said earlier in the first segment, and that is you can take some time that normally you're sleeping. In other words, you can just recapture some time. So you say my move was always kind of stay up late. I was a night owl. Clay's the morning lark.
What we would do is when you would stay up all night, I would be getting up. So you were going to bed like at 2 a.m. I'm getting up at 2 a.m. We just high five.
High five. It's like that. I don't know if you remember this, but there's a donut commercial where the guy was passing himself in the middle of the night, coming to make the donuts and getting the donuts and all that. So you and I are like that. You know, the donut machine never stops. As soon as I'm done and go to sleep, and I just Clay.
Now, Roger, I want to ask you about this because Lee Cockrell, who used to manage Walt Disney World Resorts, he says this. He says with self-discipline, almost anything can be achieved in every aspect of life. But he also goes on to say that one way to get your priorities accomplished is to schedule them into your calendar. When you see a business that's failing, talk to me about if you see maybe an executive or a manager that's failing to get the right things done. They're failing to manage their time well. What are some tips that you would have, or what are some ways you go in there and help somebody fix their time management?
Well, I totally agree with Dr. Z. I mean, if you're not using Outlook or some sort of a calendaring tool, if you don't have daily disciplines, if you don't understand what's a essential priority from a non-priority, you got to get those fixed. So get online, get to the library, read good material, and there's a lot of free stuff out there where folks can fix what's broken. Look it up on YouTube and figure out how to get yourself into a daily discipline, a daily rhythm, and understand what is essential from what's non-essential.
What are some things where you see businesses that are failing, where you see, wow, they're focusing on the wrong thing? I mean, what's the kind of thing where you see somebody spending, maybe a team of people spending massive amounts of time doing the wrong things? What are some of the things you see very, very commonly?
Well, let me turn that around and say what they need to be doing. So you got to get the money right. Okay? Any business has to understand what the essence of their cash flow is. They've got to have good analysts working on their stuff. So if we're talking about a real small micro business, then once again, what tools are available through YouTube to understand how to deal with the finances of a small business? If you're dealing with a medium-sized or a large company, you got to be hiring out some really good skilled people in the finance arena. If you never get the finances right, it just can never work.
Now, here's the deal, Thrivers. If you're going, man, I need some help making my pro forma. I don't even know what the word pro forma means, but I want to make one. I got to get my finances right. I got to learn about sales and profits and loss, and I got to learn all that. And I want to learn this in like 2 days. You know, I need to learn this all now. Well, we had a Thriver at last month's workshop who came up to me, nice lady, Vanessa and I met her, and I won't divulge her name on the air, but she came up to me and she goes, I have learned more in these 15 hours than I learned in all 4 years of business college. Yeah. And it was because the theory is so much different than the application.
Yeah.
So Z and I would caution you, whoever you learn from, make sure you're learning from experts. And we would encourage you, we would challenge you, we would push you, we'd encourage you. Get out to our 2-day in-person workshop on, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you can get all the details, thrivetimeshow.com. It is February 24th through the 25th. It's 2 days from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Book your ticket for someone that you love. And if you forgot to get them a Valentine's gift the other day, this is your chance to kind of, get some redemption. Buy them a late Valentine's gift. Send them to thrivetimeshow.com. All right, Thrive Nation, T-Town, Green Country, Oklahomies, people who share the planet with us. Welcome to the Thrive15.com show, known as the Thrive Time Show. Aliens who are tuning in from other planets. We appreciate you for adjusting your frequencies, getting to the AM dial, adjusting your spaceship so you can get through the solar flares to hear our show. Z, it's impressive when you see other alien planets adjusting their time. They're adjusting their concept of space and time. They're actually putting it into the schedule. Aliens to tune in. We have Klingons, Romulans, we've got Wookiees. The cast of characters are now listening to the show. I mean, it's unverifiable, but I believe it to be true.
Well, it is unverifiable, but we do know for a fact that you actually hail from another planet. So I think that probably all your friends and your some of your family members still back there. I mean, whatever that looks like. We know that there's other planets that are actually listening into the show, and we think it's contributed to because they're big fans of you being an alien that you are.
after Valentine's, there's so many things. Tulsa's expressed love. The Thrive Nation has shown us love. And Z, you and I aren't out there asking for a bunch of free stuff, but we are asking for 5 free things.
Just 5.
Not a bunch of things.
Not a bunch. That's not excessive.
I've said to many of you on the podcast and radio show, 1, send me any Patriots gear you have. I don't care if it's like old Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady, whatever you've got, you just send it. And you guys are doing it.
People have been sending it,
Super Bowl towels, jerseys, hats. Second is anything pro-America. If you just send us anything like red, white, and blue, America. 3, send us things with a Z. Send us a letter Z. If you've got a letter Z, a spare letter Z, or some spare American swag, send it to us.
We've been getting so many things, and we're grateful. I told Clay, I said, you need to start asking, telling people you're like diamonds or something. You're getting so much stuff.
I registered at Moody's.
Bags of cash.
Yeah. People are, I love it. Sending all these things. I thought, we got to really think about the things we're asking for.
Now, 4th, we've asked you to send in your questions to info@thrive15.com. We've asked you to do that. Send in your questions because we want to answer them and check it out. It's free. For free? Yeah, we answer your questions for free. Did he just say free? I did just say free 3 times in a row. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. You can subscribe to the podcast, or you can email us info@thrive15.com. We'll answer all your questions. And the final ask we've said is, hey, share the Thrive Time Show with a friend. Share it with them. Go on social media, share it with them. It's a game changer. Now, here's a question that comes in from a Thriver. This comes in hot from a company down in Dallas, Texas. And they said, Z, what is your process for evaluating pricing? I guess, how do you determine pricing, Z?
This could be one of the most important things when you start up your business. Because now what you've done is you've had this little dream. We've been fanning the flame. It's now burst into a little campfire.
Wow.
And now you've got your product or your service, and you said, okay, now I think the world wants this. I think I'm solving a problem with this. And so now, you've gone to your friends and your family. Uncle Billy signed off on it.
Uncle Billy signed up? Wow.
Aunt Miranda's she's excited, and she even wants to invest.
idea, Z. I love your idea is amazing. It's so great. Look at you. You remind me of your uncle. Look at you.
See, and then she's like, I'd be willing to invest. And she opens up her little purse and pulls out a few dollars and says, I'd like a piece of the action.
I have $7. You can have all 7 of them.
All of them. I'm going all in with you. And now comes the crunch time, the moment that falls on, and that is pricing.
What?
Now, here's the deal. When someone says what I should price something, what price tag should I put on this? There's a deeper question I ask them. I say, well, what is your concept of your business? In other words, are you wanting to be a Walmart? Are you wanting to be a Nordstrom's? Are you a little boutique-y? Are you you really made something special? You're really wowing? I mean, let's deep dive a little bit into what you're selling, okay?
Okay.
For me, for example, I wanted to go the value route.
Value? What do you value?
Well, because I decided this. I would rather sell to the masses instead of the the classes.
Wow.
The classes. That's what I meant. The classes. No, I wanted to do a lot of business, and I wanted to be value. And part of that was just my upbringing. I was born into a big family without a lot of resources, and so I remember what it was like to have one pair of glasses for years, and the tape and the stuff on them.
You wanted to make it affordable for people.
I wanted to make it affordable for people because I knew that I didn't want to see another young man out there with a bunch of tape on his glasses that he knew he couldn't get a pair of glasses for another year of his life. So anyway, it left some scars on my, but I'm doing better.
You're looking beautiful, though.
Thank you. So I said, listen, I'm going to go value. So for me, it was all about where's my profit? I mean, where's my cost on the goods? And now I went and researched my competition. Yes, I did that. I called them. I went into their stores. I faux shopped them. I found out what they were charging. And guess what? I underpriced them.
I don't know if that's ethical, Z. I was over here at the Summit Club reading a book on business ethics that I downloaded. I was reading, and one thing you don't want to do is mystery shop. That's unethical.
I'm sorry. All those companies out there did that. And then I advertised at a lower price, and that got me a lot of fun responses from my competitors.
When you say fun, do you mean fun in sort of a way that being attacked by a bunch of Vikings is fun?
Yeah, exactly. Like a pack of wolves around you, just snarling.
That's why you've got that hatchet. You're ready. You're ready for him now.
Yes.
I want to distill your wisdom. So step number 1 is you determined all your costs.
Yes.
2, you went out and shopped your competition.
Oh, yes. And I even wrote them. I had a board when you come in the door, and I had their prices and then my price right when you came in. I did
just
shopping
in your face.
In your face. It was fun.
Unethical. Unbelievable. Now, the third is that you then put in some profit in there. How much profit would you recommend we put into our pro forma before we go out there and sell it to the masses?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, 50 is probably on the high end, 25% is on the low end. I think somewhere around a third is a good place for you to end up on your bottom line, your profit line. And so there's a lot of costs that you have that people forget about. I mean, you've got electricity, you've got rent, you've got
Oklahoma Joe's,
you've got Oklahoma Joe's,
baked beans.
Yeah, it's $8.49 a meal. So I mean, you got to factor.
That in. I mean, it's a big cost. I'll put that down right now. Oklahoma Joe's,
meat candy.
Now, I want to ask you this here, Vanessa, because you've been married to me for 15 years. We go out there with this DJ connection idea. We've got a van filled with equipment. We're super excited to start a business out of an apartment. We currently cannot afford air conditioning.
Yeah.
We're spending the money we would spend on air conditioning, on advertisement. What did we charge, and how did we end up getting to the price we charged?
Well, I think in the beginning, our biggest expense was advertising, because you know, the route we took is you were all in construction, saving this big lump sum of money. So we bought all the equipment cash. So we were lucky in that sense. And now it was just, let's try to build up a clientele. So really in the beginning, you would do shows for whatever anyone would pay you. If it is like, hey, you know, $200 or
Jeff Ramsey. Jeff Ramsey. I'm not mad at you, but you remember how you got that deal for $200 for
you
me to
got
go
a heck
DJ?
of a show. Let me tell you,
Jeff Ramsey, you got a heck of a show. Now, for some of you who booked me first, those first bookings, I apologize for the. You really you overpaid at even paying me $100. You overpaid because I butchered your events.
But the thing is, we didn't have any other employees. It was just you. So it was basically, hey, I'm wanting to go out there and prove myself and get this following. We didn't have the business expense, but we had the ads you were paying. So you tried to book anyone from those ads. You just thought, I don't care what I get. I want to get something from them. And then we started to fall into, okay, what do we actually need to charge now? We knew we had a viable product. We knew you were delivering, well, and that's where we said, okay, and to have someone else come out, we're going to give them a third of the show. We're going to give them a bonus if they get 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. And then we did the same thing, 30% for profit.
Now, Thrivers, here's the deal. I want to distill these action items for you. When we come back, I'm going to have Roger Bruin really break down pricing, because he's helped fix companies, turn them around, and he's got some specific moves for this. But one, you have to know the cost of delivering the product or service. Add up all the costs associated with delivering the product or service. You have to know that. Add those up. Two, then you've got to make sure you shop your competition. You've got to know what the competition is charging. And the third, you've got to make sure you pack in a profit. And we recommend about 25 to 30% profit margin. Minimum is healthy for you. And so many of you are asking, what does the Thrive Time Workshop cost? What does it cost? Well, let me tell you what. When we come back, I'm going to tell you exactly what it costs and how we determine the pricing for it, but not before Jeff unpacks his pricing super secrets. Stay tuned to the Thrive Time Show. When I said Jeff, I meant Roger. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. I'm going to tell you what, we're talking about pricing, and I got so excited about pricing that my synaptic gaps were just for firing. My synapses were just going, and for some reason, I did the unpardonable sin of referring to our guest, Mr. Roger Bruin, as Jeff. I mean, it's just the lack of respect that I have for America and Tulsa. I owe you an apology, but I'm not the kind of man with enough class to do that, so I'm just going to say I made a mistake, and hopefully you'll forgive me. I can't apologize on the air for that. It's beyond apology.
You're so confident in it too, just Jeff. You
can't accept an apology when it comes to getting your name wrong. So I have an audio clip that I've queued up here, and Z, this is an audio recording, because Roger actually used to be in aviation. His business does turnarounds, for businesses, and all different kinds, healthcare, aviation, different kinds of companies.
Sure.
And so I have audio of Roger when he was boarding a plane from one of the companies he recently helped to turn around.
Oh,
so here we go.
Good. Very good. Play it for us.
Roger, hopefully it wasn't unethical that I mic'd you without your permission. So here we go.
Flight 209er, you are cleared for takeoff.
Roger. Hot.
LA departure frequency 123.9er.
Roger. Request vector. Over. What?
Flight 209er, clear for vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
That's from Airplane, an incredible movie that I make my wife suffer through once a year. We just did it the other night. So, Roger, for anybody who's listening right now who doesn't know what you do for a living, how would you explain what you do to the average listener who goes, I frankly don't exactly know what Roger Bruin does?
Well, I work with bankruptcy attorneys, U.S. trustees, bankruptcy judges, and we assess assist bankrupt companies or failing companies or distressed companies by funding purchases of the companies or their assets. Ultimately, it's up to the process of bankruptcy to pay attention to the little guy, the creditor who didn't get paid, the employee who didn't get paid because the business failed. So they leverage our money and are able to assist a trickle down to send cash down to creditors and employees that didn't get paid and things like that. Our job then is to turn the company around and to make lemonade from lemons.
Now, Z, we're going to play a round of Name That Tune before I ask Roger Bruin about pricing. Okay, this is Name That Tune.
Okay.
I'm going to play an audio clip, and you tell me which one, A or B, sounds more like it describes what Roger does. Okay?
Okay, all right.
So he's helping, fix distressed companies. Here's audio clip number 1. Tell me if this sounds like what Roger does for a living. Here we go. Okay. Okay, you got enough of that right there?
No,
Okay.
give me a little bit more. Can't get enough James Bond theme.
This is Roger Bruin. Is this Roger Bruin's theme song? Is it or is it not? Okay, moving on to the next one.
That's A.
That's A. Now here's B. This is the one that I personally am a big fan. I believe this song represents everything about what I just heard that he does for a living. So
Okay.
here we go.
Oh, so you're...
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Glow sticks going out on the town, talking to bankruptcy attorneys and judges. A lot of people
Getting that
says,
money for people. I kind of feel like this might be it.
a lot of people say, what kind of people would stay out till 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night in the Blue Dome District? Judges, bankruptcy attorneys.
Oh, yeah.
Roger. I mean, which one? If you had to choose A or B, which song best represents Roger Bruin?
I'm going to go with C, both of them. I think it's a combination.
Oh,
He's like
wow.
a James Bond that shows the love.
Why? I could marinate on that for an hour, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna have to move on there. So,
All right, but I choose C, both.
whoa, I'm gonna try to handle the profundity of that. So, Roger, if you're dealing with a company right now that has their pricing all wrong, you're sitting down with an entrepreneur, and he goes, Roger, how do I fix my pricing? What would you say?
Well, I thought Dr. Z nailed it earlier. His focus in the early days was on what the competition is doing, and that's going to be unique to each market, unique to each client. Coming out to the workshop that you guys are holding for that two-day workshop, I'm sure they'll be able to sidebar with some really good, excellent professionals here, helping them with those types of questions. But if you haven't done your research on the market, and key to what you said at the end of the last segment, Clay, if you haven't built in the proper profit margin and still have a viable product or service, then you might want to think twice about the venture that you're moving into.
Well, okay, that was. I think if you're listening, Thrivers, one of the advantages of this show is you can go back to thrivetimeshow.com and listen to it again, because pricing is something you've just got to get right. But we love to also give you notable quotables from people who've built big billion-dollar businesses that you would know. And so the guy who built Dropbox.com, a big file storage, a cloud storage company, also built Airbnb, also built Reddit. He's the guy who started the Y Combinator incubator that basically teaches these companies how to grow. His name is Paul Graham, and you should probably Google search Paul Graham, because he's you can go on a rabbit trail of awesome Paul Graham knowledge. But he says, you found market price when buyers complain but still pay. Now, this is an interesting thought.
Boom, yeah.
So here's what he has found. He's found with like Airbnb, you had to be sort of a sick freak to want to use Airbnb if you're one of the first 100 people. Because the idea of staying in someone else's home with a website that's full of bugs and errors, and just the idea of staying in someone's house alone is sort of mind-boggling. But then to be able to go, yeah, I've never met this person, I'm going to stay at their house, and by the way, the email confirmation I got was wrong. I mean, it sort of, confounds logic. And so for Reddit, when the first people to use Reddit or to use Dropbox, I mean, to put all your files on a cloud, everything that matters to you, and by the way, the company's a startup, and hopefully they make it. I mean, that's a little scary. So what he does is he comes out with that no-brainer. And then what he does is, after he's established himself in the market as being the no-brainer leader, he continues to raise prices until a few people complain. Not everybody, but he realizes that of 100 people, 2 or 3 are going to complain about the price. And then he realizes, I think I've found the price. So I'll give you 2 very real examples. One is with Elephant in the Room, our men's grooming lounge. Your first haircut is $1. And most people go, $1? How can you guys can afford to do that? Well, we say, well, it's like the Country Club of men's hair. It's high end. There's a paraffin hand dip. There's hot towel treatment. By the way, this Saturday we're having our grand opening of our newest downtown location. It's on 17th in Boston from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Come on in there for $1. It's $1 for your first haircut. But when they come in this week, 83% of the people who came in for a $1 haircut signed up for a membership because they're like, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, totally worth it.
We're aware of what our competition is charging according to what, it's going with what Z had said to do. We are aware of their pricing. And so your haircut at Elephant in the Room for a membership on average is $37 a month.
Yeah, there you go. And that's, like you said, 83% of the people did it. If 100% did it, you probably weren't charging enough.
And there's places in Tulsa we found that were charging $50 for men's hair. Mm-hmm. And there's places that were charging $10. And we looked at the value. We looked at the profit. We looked at what we wanted to pay our people. We wanted all of our stylists to be able to make $40,000 to $50,000 a year if they're doing their job right. We did all the math and we go, 37. That's about what we need to charge.
Okay.
Now for the Thrive, our in-person workshops, I'm going to walk you through the playing field, Thrivers. Here we go, Z.
All right.
So Tony Robbins. You ever been to a Tony Robbins conference?
No, but
Why?
Well, because I don't like walking on hot coals. I'm sorry. I don't walk on hot coals as a general rule of thumb.
Right off his website, he charges between $1,095 and $3,000. So between $1,000 and $3,000.
Okay.
And if you've never been to one, you need to go because you're going to be upsold. And you've never seen sales like at a Tony Robbins conference.
Well, wait, time out. Did you say you need to go? No.
If
you're being facetious.
If you're trying to study high pressure sales, you need to go there and just watch yourself get sold.
These are no jokes. These are he means the opposite of what he just said. That's sarcasm.
Now there's a Rich Dad Poor Dad seminar out there. And if you've ever been to that, that's about $500.
Okay.
And Vanessa, you've been to that before.
Yes.
Now what's the move after the workshop there? What's the move?
Well, first they get you to come back to another one, and it is the most intense high pressure sales for tons of money. Like I think they wanted us to pull out our credit cards, and they were going to get people credit increases for $20,000, and people were lining up to do it. Jason and Bailey, that's who I was there with. We were sneaking out of there. We said, "Get us out!
Get us out!"
How did this happen? How did we end up here?
There's timeshare, and then one level above timeshare is the Robert Kiyosaki seminars.
Not safe.
Then the third is the Maui Mastermind seminars, workshops, and those are $30,000.
Yeah, but they're in Hawaii.
So
At least you know you're paying the $30,000.
So you have
$1,000. Give you a credit increase and try to sell you in the back of the room.
So you have $1,000 to $3,000.
Okay.
Or you have 500 plus upsells, or 30,000. And our workshops, they're $500. And if you can't afford it, we will scholarship you the difference. So we had one lady last week who showed up. She's paying $15 to come to the workshop. That's all she has. She literally said, "Clay, the stuff I've learned on search engine, it's just sweat equity. I don't even have to do it. I just have to do what you told me. It doesn't cost any extra money." And so it got to the point at the workshop, people were writing on the whiteboard, "How much do you guys charge for one-on-one coaching?" Because we don't talk about it, and we don't upsell it, and there's no high pressure. There's no jackassery, Zeke.
Yeah, in fact, we did not bring that into our game plan day one. I mean, we did Thrive15.com, which is, I call it the Netflix of business coaching. You know, it's a monthly fee, and you can watch all the business coaching from great mentors. And then that kind of developed into the radio show that we're doing now, the Thrive Time show that you're listening to right now. And then that kind of led to in-person workshops because people are like, "Wow, are you guys real? Can we come in touch and ask questions and all that?" And then some people out there saying, "Hey, listen, the group thing's good. The workshops are great. I love the videos. I love your show, but I want one-on-one." And so we said, okay, well, they want it. We'll give it to them.
If you want to attend Thrivers, you got to go now to thrivetimeshow.com. Get your tickets. When we come back, we're going to answer another question from a Thriver who wants to know, how do you follow up with leads? You know, you talk to somebody. How do you follow up with prospects? How do you stay in touch? How do you close those deals? Stay tuned. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to our daily rendezvous with you, where we teach you how to grow a successful business so that you can achieve your life dreams and so that you can achieve financial and time freedom. The show's all about you, but let me tell you what. There's a time when you went to school, so many of us went to school, and the teacher would say, "Does anyone have any questions?" And I remember I went to college at Oral Roberts University. I had many great professors, but I had one professor who every time you would ask him a question, I'm not kidding, he took pride in ridiculing you for asking. He would do it all the time. So you'd say, he goes, I remember this specifically, he goes, "Does anyone have any questions about the Monroe Doctrine?" And so I legitimately did. And so I put my hand up. I remember this. And I said, I have a question. I would like to know, when they said that attacking any of the Americas is like attacking the United States, Does that mean like South America, or does that just mean like Hawaii and different properties we have, different like the different Costa Rica things that we're somehow connected with? And he says, or Puerto Rico, that kind of thing. And he says, he goes, what? And I said, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, does that extend to Costa Rica, or is it Puerto Rico, or is it U.S. properties, or what does that mean? And he was like, if you had read, and he starts attacking me.
I remember this. This is a big deal because you had a showdown with this guy.
I did. Well, then the next young lady, she puts her hand up, and she asks a question, and he attacks her too. So the third time, I just went for it. I just attacked him. And I was like, hey, I don't know if it's a prerequisite to be a jerk, to be a professor, but if it is, you definitely got the job. Ooh. And so, anyway, that's why I got kicked out of college. But anyway, these kind of things. But all I'm saying is many of you have stopped asking questions because you feel like you're going to be made fun of. You're going to be told that you're stupid, that you don't have what it takes. But Z and I know what it's like to start a business from the very bottom with no money, with no connections, and we know how hard it can be. But if you don't ask us questions by emailing us info@thrive15.com, we can't answer them. And I'm telling you what, these people who are bold enough to ask these questions, I love these people because I feel like if one person asks it, we get like 300 people that write back and say, I was thinking that too.
Well, so ask and you shall receive. They ask it and you're giving it to them. So this is such an open door. Take this opportunity.
And so we have a guy on the show today, Mr. Roger Brune, who his company manages a $10 million fund that buys bankrupt healthcare companies, companies that are in the aviation industry, basically companies that are struggling. They buy these companies, turn them around, get them to be successful. And this is a question, Roger, I think that's you're uniquely qualified to answer, because when you go in to fix a business, a lot of times they have a lot of potential deals they're not closing. So here's the question from the Thriver. They say, how do you stay in touch with former leads? And I think what they're saying is maybe they talked to a prospect and now the prospect, they didn't buy anything, but how do you stay in touch with that person? Or maybe after the point of sale, how do you stay in touch with a lead, my friend?
Yeah, I like that question. Certainly in today's day and age, you've got to be using good technologies, good CRM technologies in order to manage those leads. And just as importantly, much like you talked about the elephant in the room, how are you connecting with your top prospects and your top clients? And so doing some analysis as to what the opportunity is and doing some analysis as to what the cash flow is of existing clients that you have, man, you got to be on top of that stuff. You talked about working at 2 a.m. or going home at 2 a.m. That's the kind of stuff that entrepreneurs need to be doing at 2 a.m., drilling into the data so that they're focusing their 24 hours on the best stuff that will really help them to grow their business.
I want to brag on a Thriver, Z, and then I want to get into your methods and moves for this. We have a Thriver by the name of Randy, and he's a guy I just talked to this morning. And I want if you know Randy with Farmers Insurance, send him a text. Go, they're bragging on you on the air, bro. Here's the deal. He has put it into his schedule a set time to follow up with anybody who said they want to buy insurance for their home, their life, and their auto. He put it into his schedule a set time every day.
All right.
And it doesn't matter how long ago he talked to you, he has it mapped into his schedule, blocked out into his schedule. And what's happening is that he is actually doing it. So Chet Holmes, the guy who's the best-selling author of the book called The Ultimate Sales Machine, and the former partner of Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, he says this. He says, the missing ingredient for nearly all of the 1,000 plus clients that he's worked with to directly improve their businesses is pig-headed discipline and determination. He says, we all get good ideas at seminars and from books, radio talk shows, and business building gurus. The problem is that most companies do not know how to identify and adapt the best ideas to their businesses. Implementation, not the ideas, is the real key to success. And so Randy with Farmers Insurance, great job implementing and being pig-headed enough to actually block it out in the schedule, which requires saying no to all those distractions. And today in the meeting, he's like the all-star of the Farmers crew this morning because he is actually staying in touch with all of his leads. And many people will say, hey, thank you so much. I didn't recognize the phone number when you had called, and or hey, I didn't get that email. Thank you for following up. I do need the auto insurance. I just had been really busy and I didn't recognize the number, or I don't normally check that email, or whatever the reason was. His persistence led to the deals beyond just the low-hanging fruit, Z. So what advice, Z, would you have For someone who's listening right now who goes, I'm so busy, I don't have time to follow up with all my leads. So some people are saying that, man. They're going, I don't have time, I'm so busy.
Well, you don't have time to make money because leads and those hot sauce leads that's where you make your sales. And I tell you what, we've all been the guy on the other side of the table buying, right? And we're all like, none of us go through the day going, I wonder what I can buy. I just want to spend my money. I want to spend my hard-earned money on something. First person comes up and asks me for it, I'm just going to give it to them and buy whatever they have. No, we're all very cautious with our money, and for the most part, we don't want to spend it. And so the idea that we become a lead, and then we push them off, and we use all the different moves to push them off, to delay the deal, to get them to squirm out of it, to not do it, right? We've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
You've been there.
Yeah,
Vanessa's over here nodding. I know Roger's been there. I know Clay, you've been there. And so then what happens is that then you think, oh, whew, okay, I missed that bullet. It's like Matrix, dodge, I dodged that sale. Woo, yeah. And they circle back around, and they're persistent. I tell you what, then pretty soon you're kind of going, well, I guess I. Do you know? I guess I better dodge. So here's the deal: you've got to make time to work on your leads because most people drop it at the very end. In other words, they're carrying the ball down, they've intercepted it, they're running, and when they get to the 5-yard line, they drop. You see those guys that drop the ball before they get in the end zone? That's what not following up on your leads is doing. So you're playing a game of football, and you're running into the end zone, and you drop the ball before you get to the finish line. Oh, Billy. The last 5 to 10% of that deal is following up on those leads. You've got to do it. The fish that jump in your boat, that's no effort. It's the ones that, just kind of nibble on your hook.
We have a caller here. We have a caller that just called in real quick here.
Yeah.
His last name is Belichick.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
I should have brought up football. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
This one's on me.
Do your job. All right, don't try to make too much out of it. Just do your job.
Hey, thanks a lot there, Mr. Belichick. That was very nice.
But what I'd like Clay, if I could, I'd like to bring up 4 super moves from Warren Buffett and have you break them down.
Yeah.
Can we do that on closing a deal?
I think so. Now, Vanessa had a question for you.
I wanted to just jump in there and say Z is spot on because I have been that person who is trying to dodge. Hey, I'm too busy now. Maybe if you call me back, hoping they never call back.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? The ones who do call back, I mean, my kids, they know, as a testament, even if I don't want it, I will frickin' buy the thing because I feel guilt tripped like, oh, I did tell them.
I did. I gave them that hoop to jump through.
Yeah, I know. They actually somehow got me on the phone again. I mean, I'll try to make sure, I don't answer if I don't know the number, but I think, is this a client? I better get it. So you are spot on.
Kind of a weird deal. We had a Thriver call in and say, I don't have time to call my leads. And somehow I was trying to, they were trying to transfer the phone call directly onto our show. They hit the wrong button and apparently they ended up talking to Belichick again.
Do your job.
Oh, no.
All right, don't try to make too much out of it.
On me, guys.
Okay, sorry. So Z, let's break it down your moves, Joe. Let's break it down.
Oh, this is Warren Buffett's top 4 moves to close a deal.
He's had some success.
I would say so. He's top 3 richest, top 5 guy, wealthiest guys in the world.
I would say that he would be, he's kind of like qualified to be Gronkowski's backup. He could,
Yeah, so this is how to close a deal like Warren Buffett, because here the deal is that following up on those leads is great, but then you got to close the deal.
Close the deal.
Following up going, I told you I'd call you back, Vanessa, and I'm just doing it. So, okay, bye, click.
Here we go.
I mean, you got to close the deal.
All right.
Sell me now.
This is Warren Buffett, who's a smart guy, and that's what we do. We find good mentors, we find smart guys, we find successful business people, just like having Roger on the show. So we find local guys, bring them on the show, but we also like to teach you, things from the best out there in the world, the GOATs, they're greatest of all times, right?
Tom Brady.
It reminds me of Tom Brady, basically overall.
I should have said that. Okay, his number 1 move is you've got to know the other guy pretty well. You've got to know the other guy's money. Clay, break that down. Why is that important to know the financial of the guy you're doing negotiations with?
Okay, well here would be the situation. Is it a lot of times, like in business, the person who has the most options wins. So as an example, if you're trying to buy a house and the person you're trying to buy the house from desperately needs to sell it. And I'm telling you, if you're trying to sell your house, I've coached real estate agents on this. I've coached many successful multi-million-dollar real estate agents. The key, if you're a successful real estate agent, is to act as though you have many leads and you're not worried in the least bit if the buyer goes somewhere else. That's the key. So how that sounds is, thank you for calling such and such realty. Yeah, I had a question about that house on Harvard. Okay, yeah, well, what questions do you have? Well, I wanted to know this and that, and my buyer's looking for this and that. And you go, well, I tell you what, we are super busy with showings. Since they've done the renovations, the house is just getting a lot of traffic. When would you like to schedule a time? I want to make sure you get a chance to see it. And so you inferred that you have a lot of options.
Right.
And so you want to, and then when you meet with the person, you want to know, does this person have the capacity to afford it? So you might ask questions like, so guys, when are you looking to move? And you ask these timing questions. And if you have a good idea for their financial situation, then you can decide whether it's worth doing another showing, whether it's worth taking it off the market, whether it's worth negotiating, those kind of things. So you just want to know where the buyer is at.
Absolutely. And his number 2 move segues beautifully into that, and that is so you don't waste your time, you start discussing money from the beginning. Break that down, Clay. Why is that important?
Well, I think what happens is, and I think Roger's probably very qualified to look at this too, because you've helped companies that are distressed. But if you put off talking about the financial aspects of a deal, what happens is you get kind of in that romantic deal where you've spent so much time looking at the deal, looking at the business, looking at the idea, talking about the possibilities, that now you're sort of like, well, I've already spent so much time looking at this deal. We've gone on many dates together. We've gone to Mahogany's. We've broken bread. I've actually ordered more bread. When he went to the restroom, I ordered as much bread as I wanted, frankly. And he was buying the wine, and so when he went to the bathroom, I ordered another bottle. And so we are now in this to win it, and I really don't even care what the deal is. I just want to get it closed to get some satisfaction. I've been going out to dinner with this person more than my wife. Let's close the freaking deal. I mean, that's kind of what happens. Roger, talk to me about why you got to get into money from the very beginning.
Well, I like where you're going with that, Clay, because I've got this poster up in my office. It's actually Conor McGregor, the MMA fighter. And the poster is all about this issue of obsession. And we don't hear that enough in sort of this weird bifurcated society that we live in with multiple inputs from a zillion different networks. And the question to the business owner is, what are you obsessed about? And then focus there until you break through. And certainly if you've got the ball, don't drop it at the 1 yard line. So the bottom line is you've got to ask those hard questions on the front end. And like I said earlier, if you don't know what the money is about, then you're really in over your head.
Oh, wow. It's like the knowledge bomb. Just
boom, right there. That was a good one.
Okay, back to you, Zeke.
Okay, step 3 in Warren Buffett's 4 steps secret moves to closing the deal. Because if you listen, when you're following up on these hot leads, you've got to then close the deal. Hot leads.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. And it segues nice into exactly what you guys were just talking about, and that is that he uses ranges to qualify and disqualify. So you're talking about money, and then you can go to the range move of between here and here, and why is that important, Clay?
Well, I like to use hyperbole for this. So a lot of times when you're talking to a customer and you talk about the price of your product, you might say our prices range from here to here, and you can watch their face when they go from here, they're like, oh, I can afford that. When you go here, they go, oh, I can't afford that. Sometimes they just they're not phased, and so you can figure that out. But also when you're buying a business, when you're buying anything, you want to figure out where the buyer, where the seller's at, where the buyer's at. You want to understand the range of what somebody can put into the deal so you're not wasting your time. Stay tuned. Thrive Nation, welcome back into the conversation. Today we're answering questions from Thrivers just like you. And how can you get your questions answered? Email us, info@thrive15.com. We're still celebrating that afterglow of Valentine's Day, which really hasn't even begun to cloud the afterglow of the Patriots Super Bowl victory.
Oh, no.
But, we had a very special gift that was delivered to us from our good friends at Regent Bank for Valentine's. They dropped off, Z, some chicken in a heart-shaped container. How thoughtful was that, Zeke?
It's very thoughtful. It's hard to find actually chickens that are shaped like hearts, so they did it in a container, which is good.
And I don't want to belittle a gift. I'm not the kind of guy who would get on a radio show and say, that gift wasn't that good. I wouldn't do that. But if I was that kind of person, I would say, well, guys, are you writing a song for us? I mean, because you and I have got together with Jason Bailey and a bunch of random people.
Yeah.
And we've written probably the best song
for all the things you've done for them
in the history of radio. I mean, you have sponsors, and a lot of times on the radio shows, you want to mention your sponsors and encourage people to visit Regent Bank, bankregent.com. We could do that, but instead, Z and I got together with various musicians and we recorded a song, and it might remind you of a song you've heard before.
It might.
It has top 40 potential. So Z, I'm going to get it queued up here. You ready?
Oh, absolutely.
It's always embarrassing when you play a song we've worked so hard on together. I mean,
we think Bank Regent's going to love it and pick it up as their theme song. So.
And all I will say is that just to give the Thrivers a visual, I had a purple shirt with sort of that French sort of what do you call that? The French collar?
Lace.
Yeah, and you had
puffy shirt.
You kind of
look like a pirate.
Yeah, I did kind of kind of a puffy pirate, you know. And then you had the platform shoes. It was amazing. You found those. I was just impressed. So here's the song we put together. There you go, Thrivers. If you're looking for a bank, you got to get yourself to Region Bank. Oh, Region Bank. Oh, Region Bank.
Oh, yeah, come on
if
now.
you're looking for friendly service all the time, 24/7.
Times faster than the average bank.
Region Bank. Region Bank. If you're looking for a bank that will give you chicken in a heart-shaped container delivered to you if they sponsor your show, Region Bank. Region Bank. If you want a bank president who looks oddly like Joel Osteen, who talks like Joel Osteen, who might just be Joel Osteen, I'm going to tell you what, drivers, you got to get yourself over to the bank that we all know as a little place called Region Bank. That's what we worked on this weekend. A lot of people say, what do you guys do?
I think that's got a really shot of something special.
I don't think that was, I mean, Roger, you've helped, turn major companies around. Would you say that's a great investment of time to get together with, some of the leading members of your team and record a song about a bank? Is that a good use of time?
Anytime you can leverage Prince, you're spot on.
Who's Prince? I've never...
You've been found out.
No. You told me it was original.
I'm sorry. I thought it was. I must have dreamt it.
Okay, so we're getting back into staying in touch with former leads. It's getting awkward here. I'll just kind of change the topic. So getting back to following
Well,
leads.
what we've been working on here of late is what we like to do is find very smart people that have been very successful and pick their brains. And in this case, we're picking Warren Buffett's brain. Who's Warren Buffett?
It hurts when you pick. Just read my quote. How it hurts.
He's one of the wealthiest guys in the world. Just kind of no big deal. Just a leading business mind, great guy. So we're going over his 4 little secret moves to closing the deal, because we're talking about staying in touch with the leads. And then whenever you're doing that last 5 to 10% of the process, you've got to be able to close the deal. So his super moves that we already broke down the first 3, but just to recap, they would know the other guy's money, start discussing money from the beginning, use ranges to qualify and disqualify, and now step 4, which Clay and Roger are going to break down for us, are don't negotiate until it's time. What does he mean by that, Clay?
Well, once you know what you want and what they want, and you have most of the details hammered out, now you go into negotiation. Now, negotiation, to me, this is what negotiation means. Let's not try to irritate each other, but let's poke each other in the eye. And I see this a lot of times where you have a great relationship with both parties, and when you finally get into the negotiation, when you start being very candid, sometimes that's very alarming. When let's say you want to buy someone's house, and you've been talking about ranges, and I'll buy your house for, $270 to $300-ish, and then they go, okay, and you've gone over the details, so I'm going to get the hot tub, and you're going to include this and that, and you'll fix that and this, and then you show up at the final offer and you say, so we're going to go ahead and put an offer in today for $270. And they're like, well, it's $270 to $300. I thought, what about the $300 part? No, $270, not $1 more. That's what I valued it out. It kind of all of a sudden, rapport is lost. You're making some big withdrawals from the love bank. Things begin to get awkward. Z, you've bought land, and you know what it's like to negotiate with a tough negotiator.
Yeah, I tell you what, when I bought my ranch outside of Tulsa, it wasn't for sale. Like a lot of great things you buy in life, it doesn't have to be for sale. Everything's for sale, nothing's for sale, right? So I contacted the gentleman that owned the ranch, and I said, hey, I want to buy your ranch. He's like, well, it's not for sale. I said, I don't care. I want to buy it. So he's like, well, let's do lunch. Who are you? Okay, let's do lunch. So we sat down, and we literally, once a month, we would sit for lunch, and he would tell me the price, and I'd slap you and say, get out of here.
Ow!
Wait, finish lunch first, then get out of here. And every month we'd meet, the price would come down, price would come down, price would come down. And then finally, after 6 months, he finally said the price, and I stood up, I shook his hand, I said, sold American.
This is how it actually went down. This is what happened is Z comes in and tries to negotiate the deal down by $100, and then the guy orders more food, $100 more food, and then he has Z pay. Yeah, this just keeps happening until eventually Z's like, okay, we're
until I own the ranch, yeah. And then we had a lot of pancakes.
All right, Roger, I want to ask you, why is it so important to really not start wrestling and negotiating? Why is Warren Buffett correct in not really getting into that intense negotiation until you pretty much know what both parties want there?
Well, we talked earlier about qualifying, and of course, you don't want to be in that negotiation until you've qualified your capacity to close the deal. Now you're back to his point number 3. 3, which is what is the range that we're going to work within, and then focus on your best number. Obviously, going back to an earlier segment where we talked about analysis, you got to know what the number said before you step in and have that first pancake. And so certainly knowing what the numbers say, understanding margin are all absolutely essential before you even start that first moment of negotiation.
Yeah, because what happens, it's all fun and games up till negotiation.
We're having a great time. This is awesome. You guys are
all fun and games. It's your first date. It's oh yeah, don't hurt me.
Oh, Roger. Oh, Z, you guys are great guys.
You got your skating. You got your glow sticks.
Yeah,
you got the
for a night
skating
in
ring.
town.
Couple skate. You look at them. They look at you.
No martinis for Roger, but 18 for you, Z. All right, here we go. Let's do it.
You're out doing your couple skate, and it's all fun and games. And then finally, you get down to the number, to the. And now all of a sudden it gets weird, because now all of a sudden you're like, well, I thought you were.
I thought you'd said 900,000.
You were my friend.
Did you say 900,000?
Why are you penciling me on this deal? Wait a second, we had cheesecake together. I mean, we had coffee at Starbucks for 30 minutes and really got to like each other.
And what's really weird is as a DJ, what happens is the music is playing, and you hear this, you're having a good time, and this is the soundtrack you're hearing in your head, Travis. You're hearing that "What Is Love," and then next thing you know, you look across the table, and all of a sudden, yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna make an offer you can't refuse. You would disrespect the Sicilians with a deal like this. I'll tell you what, sometimes you just gotta get there and get it done. I feel like I have a lead pipe with your name on it. Listen, this is gonna be a win, trust me. I crack your skull, I crack his skull, it's a win and a win.
This is the theme music for all negotiations. I'll just say right now. Every negotiation needs this behind it.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
It's nothing personal at all. I took the head off of one of your horses, and it's in your bed.
That's called negotiations.
No, I just left it there for you. You can fight it.
You can do the thing. No, I left it here. I didn't take it. It's still yours.
I did. I felt sort of bad when I killed your dog, but I had to have it. No, but seriously, that's what happens. It gets kind of weird. So, Thrivers, do not rush that negotiation. Now, stay tuned. We got more business tips for you. ThriveTimeShow.com. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back into the conversation. The Thrive Time Show is a show that's all about you. But many of you are finding the show right now for the first time. And so you're going, what is this show consistently about? Well, let me tell you what it's about, okay? There's a guy, he has a dream about starting a successful business. There's a lady, she has a dream about starting a successful business. That guy or that gal, that's you. And you represent 57% of the American population, according to Forbes, who wants to start a successful business. So you enroll in business college and you get that, you graduate, and you're still going, I don't know what to do. And specifically, we have a Thriver who's located in L.A. You're like, are you guys on the air in L.A.? No, we're not. But our ThriveTimeShow.com podcast is downloaded every day by people in over 50 countries, all over the world. It's unbelievable. And we have a doctor. I thought when you went to medical school, Z, they answered all of your business questions. I thought they taught you how to be a successful business person and a doctor. It doesn't seem ethical to teach you just how to become a doctor, Z. Could a doctor possibly have a business question?
Absolutely. In fact, they're the guys out there that probably reach out to me the most personally, because they say, hey, listen, I know how to do my skill set really well, but I don't know how to run a business successfully. They didn't teach me that in dental or medical or optometry school. And so there's a lot of guys out there that have a profession, and you may be one of those guys listening right now, or ladies, and you say, listen, I've got a profession, I've got the skill set, I've got the diploma hanging on my wall, but I got no money in my bank account. So where's the disconnect?
So as to not make Thrivers feel stupid, we never want to call anybody out. But and this is a tough question. Okay, this is from a doctor in L.A.
Okay.
He says, how would I tell a coach or somebody what's wrong with my business if I don't know what's wrong? And he goes on to write that he has no clue of how to make his business successful, but he's working all the time and not making any profit. And so, Z, let's start with you, and then I want to get to Roger's feedback. And I want to get Vanessa's feedback, too, as an entrepreneur's wife, and also as an entrepreneur. We do everything together. So I want to ask you this, Z. I mean, where would you say, if you're sitting with a friend of yours, a colleague who's a doctor, and he's like, man, I'm working all the time. I'm not making any money. What do I do? What advice would you have?
Well, you got to break it down. I mean, you got to roll up your sleeves and go to work. I mean, there's not a quick fix. It's not we're going to wave the magic wand. We're going to push this button. Oh, we're going to change the color of this logo. I mean, there's so many things. And so what you have to do is you have to just break it down. And you've got to roll up your sleeves and get to work. And that's why I'm so excited about our in-person workshops. Because you see, you don't know what you don't know. And so what you need to do is we broke it down into 13 steps, 13 stages of business. And so if you're doing great in 10 of those and 3 are failing, guess what? Your business is failing. So you have to break down all of those. And so that's why our in-person workshops, people have just responded unbelievable. I mean, the reviews that come in, the people say how life-changing it is. They go back and maybe they had 6 things wrong. Maybe they had 3 things wrong. Maybe they had 2 things wrong. Maybe 1 thing wrong. Maybe they just fixed 1 thing in their business.
Do you know
and
this?
It explodes.
We had a local fitness owner that came to Tulsa here. I say localized. It's not a national chain. They flew into Tulsa, and this is a win that we just had emailed into us. They said this is their second week of receiving over 45 viable leads in their inbox, and they're only spending $200 a week on ads. Unbelievable. And the thing was, they had no clue how to generate online leads. So we would encourage everybody to come out to an in-person workshop, do the super in-depth self-evaluation, discover your biggest limiting factor, and then fix it.
Exactly. And our next one just happens to be in less than 2 weeks. Right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at our headquarters, Thrive 15 headquarters, right here in Jinx, America, on the left coast of the Arkansas River.
20,000 square feet.
Boom, of excellence. And it's February the 24th and the 25th.
What website is it?
It's thrivetimeshow.com.
Z, I'm sorry, I've never been on the internets before. I've never been on the internets. Is it plural form? How do I get there? What's the website?
Is it www? What is that? Well, thank you, Al Gore, first of all, for the internet.
What?
But no. You get on the internet, you go to thrivetimeshow.com, and it breaks down all the information about it. How much is it? It's $500, but we have scholarships. What does that mean?
500 big ones?
That means that there's no excuse for you not showing up, okay? It's 2 days, starts at 7 in the morning. That seems awful early for me. I don't know.
I've never been up before that time ever. I usually am going to sleep. I'm watching Maury Povich reruns. I've got the whole thing. I got the TiVo to Maury Povich. He's great.
And we go through, we have downloadables, we have templates. I tell you what, you're going to have a room full, not overcrowded, but a room full of people just like you, wanting to start their business, wanting to grow their business. And then you say to yourself, well, that seems awful, kind of a tricky question to how do I fix my business? Well, here's the thing about it is, without in-depth business analysis, we don't know what needs to be fixed on your business. But we can tell you this, hey, we will teach you all the things to do. And then you can sit there at your little desk we provide for you in the workshop, and you can say to yourself, oh, yeah, I'm not doing that.
All right, I have two tough questions. I have 2 tough questions. One for you, Z, and one for you, Raja. Raja, Mr. Business Expert. So question number 1 I have for you, Z, is, and don't beat around the bush here. Get down to the specifics. I know you have a scholarship program. I know it's affordable for everybody, but are you going to serve a buffet from Luby's?
There will not be a buffet from Luby's.
I'm done with it. That's it. I'm going to take my Segway and go home. Which way is it?
No, Mr. Oswald, your bagel company. We want to expand your bagel company. So please come attend. Ask questions. There's no stupid questions. You can come interact with us, interact with other business owners, people right in the same shoes you're in. I mean, not literally, but figuratively. And so it's awesome. It's life-changing. And no matter what you can afford, we'll scholarship you the rest of the money. There's no upselling. There's no scam offering.
I feel like there's a catch coming.
There's no catches coming on. And you know why we do this, Clay?
Why?
Because we have a heart to see people succeed in business. We want to see you get your time freedom and your financial freedom, because that's just the kind of guys we are.
And you don't want to serve them Luby's because you're greedy. All right, now we're moving on here. So I want to ask you, Raja, question coming in hot here. If my business is stuck and I have no idea how to fix it, what do I do? Give me the hot sauce, and also give me some Luby's.
Well, what I hear Clay and Dr. Z both saying is some derivative of being a lifelong educator. And so you've got to know where the sweet spot is in your industry, whether you're the doctor in LA or the guy who's got the bagel company. You've got to know where the best places to go for best practices, and you've got to commit yourself to lifelong education. Dr. Z quoted it earlier, 5 hours a day we're spending in front of the television. Cut off 4.5 of those and go read a book.
You know, one thing that is profound to me is who listens listens to our show. And one thing that blows my mind is Jim Stovall, who is the best-selling author, and he's also a guy who's written books with Steve Forbes. He sent us this book, Z. He sent us an early edition of his newest book.
Oh, yeah, it was so nice of him.
Called The Art of Productivity. And he really talks about being guarded about who you get your information and your mentorship from. Vanessa, what advice would you have for the Thrivers out there who are seeking mentorship? What advice would you have as an entrepreneur's wife and an entrepreneur yourself?
Well, I just think you need to be so careful, in life, who you team up with, who you listen to, who you take your advice from. And that's one thing that we've learned over the years. Most of the time we learn from mistakes and not mentors, but you went out of the way. You saw that Dr. Z was legit. You saw the businesses he had created. And from afar, you were trying to woo him, for years and get in front of him because you knew he was someone that could help you. And I think it's the same for Thrivers. We're providing an environment where we have the mentors. You just need to come and attend, and we have everyone who can help you get you where you need to go.
Thrivers, you got some time to do it. You got time to do the challenge here. 1, get over to Oklahoma Joe's. Get those baked beans. Get over there to Oklahoma Joe's. There's 3 locations to serve you. And 2, get to thrivetimeshow.com and sign up for the podcast. They're free. You'll get updated every day. There's a new podcast. If you miss one, you'll get updated. Go to thrivetimeshow.com and come back and see us in just a moment. We're going to answer your final question. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation where we're talking about how to start and grow a successful business, and we're answering questions from Thrivers like you. And you may be asking yourself right now, well, how do I get my question answered? Okay, how do I do that? I like their questions, but how do I get mine answered? Well, you email info@thrive15.com. That's info@thrive15.com. And a question we're getting over and over and over and over and over and over and over is, what do I do if I am already sufficiently motivated? See, I love this question. I'm getting this all the time. People are emailing us going, look, buddy, I'm motivated, okay? And I don't want to go to another motivational conference. I'm already motivated, okay? My wife and I know what we want to do with our life. My husband and I know what we want to do. I'm a young entrepreneur. I know what I want to do. It's clearly in my mind. How do I do it? So I'm going to read you a notable quotable from one of our loyal listeners and a great guy. Tulsa is kind of the crown jewel of entrepreneurship in Tulsa. Jim Stovall, the best-selling author, and he's the guy who's teamed up with Steve Forbes to write a couple of books. Steve Forbes from Forbes magazine, that guy, yeah. And so he emailed us, or he actually emailed. He kind of emails in feedback to the show from time to time. Well, he mailed us a physical copy of his newest book called The Art of Productivity. It's an advanced copy, and I was reading through this thing, and it blew my mind. So, see, I'm going to read this to you, and I want to get your feedback, and I want to get Roger's feedback on this. And this is kind of relating to the entrepreneur who's asking, okay, I'm motivated now. What do I need to do? So here it is. He says, let's assume that I wanted to be a champion golfer. I could have this firmly established in my mind as a goal, pursue it with passion, and exhibit the highest degree of determination. But without practical, realistic instruction, I would be doomed to failure, even if I sought the advice of the best golfer in the world. Z, talk to me about the importance of practical and realistic teaching and mentorship.
Well, what that person probably needs is just like maybe a pit of hot coals. And you just if you can make it across there,
if I can walk on a hot coal, I can do SEO.
You could be a professional golfer. Well, then that's what it all breaks down to, because it's always the little technique, the little things you're doing wrong. Just like Vanessa was saying in the very first segment of today's show, if you missed the early part, you need to get the podcast at thrivetimeshow.com. And what she's saying is that people that were uploading the videos before wouldn't put spaces between the words.
Yeah.
It was a little bitty thing,
making me crazy.
It was a little bitty thing. So I'm going to be a golfer, right? And it's a little bitty thing. My angle's off, my timing's off, the ball placement's wrong. Just it's a little thing. And so it's the practical application of the things that you're taught. It's that practical knowledge of saying, oh, no, that needs to go there. You can watch YouTube videos all day long and go, I think I'm doing it like he's doing it,
I've got another.
I'm going to be like Tiger. I'm just keep watching Tiger videos all day long and I'll be a golfer. No, you need to have the practical lessons taught to you and then practice them over and over and over again. It's attention to details, the little stuff that'll get you in trouble.
And someone to tell you if you're starting to veer in the wrong direction. Hey, no, Course correct. Course correct.
I'm going to give you an example, 2 examples. I want to get your feedback on this, Roger, because this is your 2 glaring examples. I took my kids to the mall recently, and at the mall, there's like sort of a deal where you're going to the restroom at the mall, and then you walk into this crowd of people going fast. I mean, you've got to get the holiday shopping. You got to get your move on. You get out, you walk into that hallway at Woodland Hills Mall. Now all of a sudden you're in the main corridor. You got to move. They're the holidays. You got to go.
Oh yeah. All right.
Well, this lady has toilet paper stuck to her shoe. Like a lot, like a copious amount of toilet paper that she's just walking with down the mall. Well, everyone is like going, oh my gosh, or looking or gawking, and she doesn't know what's going on.
Sure.
And so I'm just sort of, my kids went to the restroom themselves, and I watch, and all these people are like, oh, and they're all looking at her like, oh, do you see that? Oh, and the farther away they are from her, the more they're being obnoxious about it.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see her getting progressively redder, not knowing why everyone's looking at her.
Yeah.
And I just pulled her aside and I said, hey, check it. You've got some toilet paper on your shoe. She goes, oh my gosh. And she was like sort of embarrassed that I told her, but she goes, thank you so much. Because it was about 30 seconds where she was just going around blindly. Well, I saw an entrepreneur recently who had a very aggressive search engine marketing campaign, okay? And he had a product, and this is another win. This is a thriver, a real thriver. And he's selling the very aggressive search engine marketing campaign, very aggressive ads, and he has photos taken of his products that are awful. But he did them himself, and he did the best he could with the tools he had. And recently, the month of February, he sent us an email and said, I tripled my sales during February after doing a Valentine's Day promotion leading up to Valentine's Day. Thank you, guys. And all we did was just change the photos.
Where you took his photos, yeah.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. You're listening to The Thrive Time Show.
So, Roger, talk to us. When you go into a business that's struggling, how often do you as an outsider see some glaring weakness that really, if the people weren't so busy working in it, they probably could see easily from the outside? I mean, how often do you see that glaring weakness or biggest limiting factor?
Well, what I tell a lot of people is you gotta stay in your lane. You can only be so good at so many things. I personally find that after 35 years I've been in my career, there's like 2 or 3 things that I do really well, and I gotta stay in that sweet spot. I mean, let's face it, everybody who's listening right now, all of us sitting here in the studio, we don't know anybody that's a mile wide and a half-inch deep that's truly influencing the world. You got to go deep if you want influence.
Now, I would 100% agree with what you just said, and I think it ties into a lot of what Jim Stovall talks about in his book, because his book is very powerful and very practical. This book called The Art of Productivity. But one thing that he talked about in his book was he's saying when you're going out there searching for a mentor, he says you want to make sure the person who is teaching you knows what they're doing and has shown that they know what they're doing. Like they're an expert in that area. And so what Z and I did when we built Thrive15.com is we said, who are the top managers in the world? I mean, honestly, who's the top manager? And you might go, well, the guy at Atwoods is awesome. Or I know a guy over here at Quick Trip who's great. And I wouldn't argue with you, but I wrote down Jack Welch. That's the CEO of GE.
Oh, one of my favorites.
I wrote down Lee Cockerell, who's the manager of Walt Disney World Resorts. Okay, they have over 40,000 employees that show up to work every day. And I will tell you, I tried to call these people. And I will tell you that I did not get a return call from Mr. Jack Welch, and I respect him. I know he's busy, but Mr. Cockerell we were honored to have him call us back. And he's the one who teaches our management courses. Now, he doesn't teach search engine. He doesn't teach sales, but he teaches management. And I would argue that if you have the world's #1 tourism attraction known for being clean, detailed, accurate, and safe, you probably know something about managing people. So you should probably be qualified to teach management.
Oh, we can't have, you got to choose either quality or quantity. You can't do both.
And that's why we built Thrive15.com, is that we captured people who believe you can do quantity and quality, and they're actually doing it.
Yes.
And for less money than most people spend on coffee per month. It's literally $19 a month. $19 a month, you have access to the world's best business school, like the Netflix of business.
You know what I absolutely love about the website? I just want to throw this out there. It is such a safety net. $19 a month. We have a lot of subscribers who, yes, they watch 15 minutes a day, and it's great, and it gets them going, it gets them on track, it gets them focused. But we have probably just as many people who, you know what, they have the subscription and they might not use it for 3 weeks, but then they get stumped on something and they have a resource to go to. They have the templates that they can download. They have the downloadables. They have, they can email in their questions, but they're able to go in that moment when they have a question, search on Thrive and find someone who's answering how to, send in a press release or what they need to do.
It's all vetted and proven, and so you're not going to be taken advantage of. There's no charlatan out there selling.
Who else can do that for $19 a month, where you have this basically on call and you can go to this resource? That's what I love about it.
It's awesome. And what we did is we sat there and we listened to you, the listener, and we wrote down 4 things you kept asking for, and so we're giving it to you. One is the online school. We realized that some people, unfortunately, can't afford the $19 a month, and so we actually will have a feature where you can choose your own price if for some reason you can't afford it. So that's a real thing. Go to thrive15.com. You can choose your own price. Like $1 a month? Yeah. 2 is the podcast. So many of you listen to part of the show and then you miss it because you're going back into the office. So if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, we now have the world's best business podcast available for you in beautiful digital sound. The third is many of you asked for an in-person workshop, and so now we built a facility. We have a facility. We've built it out. 20,000 square foot facility built just for you. It's like the Disneyland of entrepreneurship, the thrive15.com world headquarters. We have our next workshop on February 24th and 25th. Go on up there and see if we have any seats still available. We'd love to have you. That's thrive15.com. Just check, see if we have any seats still available. If we can't get you in, we'll see if we can get you in next time. I'm telling you, that's a game-changing event for some of you. You need to go check it out, thrivetimeshow.com. The other thing we do is we now have one-on-one business coaching, Z. And a lot of people, a lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers, a lot of optometrists are telling us, man, this one-on-one coaching is a game changer.
Absolutely. And then, we didn't start off with that. It's kind of like we opened up an ice cream shop and we had vanilla and everybody wants ice cream.
I love vanilla.
And then they come in and they go, do you have chocolate? We're like, okay. So we
whatever, dude. We're not going
strawberry.
to all vanilla all the time. Deal with it.
Now we have 4 flavors. And
wow.
Hey, you've got a wide choice. And some guys don't want vanilla. They want butter pecan.
Butter pecan?
And that's a thing.
Are you into butter pecan?
Well, no, mine's more of a Rocky Road or...
Roger, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Rocky Road.
Vanessa, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
I like any flavor of ice cream. That's my thing. As long as it's ice cream, I'm down. I got to stay away from that stuff. Now, Thrivers, I'm telling you what, it's been a great show today. We thank you for listening, and we're excited to see you at the workshop, February 24th and 25th, thrivetimeshow.com. And Z, as always, 3, 2, 1, boom! All right, JT, so hypothetically, in your mind, what is the purpose of having a business?
To get you to your goals. So it's a vehicle to get you to your destination.
Whoa. And would you need profits to get there? I mean, is when you have a business that's successful, in your mind, in your expert opinion, would you need profits to get you to your goals?
Yeah, because if you have a $15 million business, but you have $15 million of expenses, it's kind of pointless.
Holy crap.
All right, so the question I would have here for you, if you could take 10 minutes or less and see if you could save $3,000 a year by reducing your credit card fees, would you do it?
Yes, absolutely.
Holy crap.
Why would somebody out there who's listening right now who has a sane mind, why would they not go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card, thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card to schedule a 10-minute consultation to see if they can reduce their credit card fees by at least $3,000 a year.
Why would they not do it?
Yeah, why would they not do it?
Maybe because they didn't understand how you said the website.
The 3 is a symbol of the spirit of the Griswold family Christmas.
No, that's clear. Okay, so that could be true. So I would encourage everybody to check out thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card, thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card. What would be another reason why someone would not be willing to take 10 minutes to compare rates to see if they could save $3,000 or more on credit card fees?
Maybe they think it is a waste of time and that it won't. It's not possible.
There's somebody out there that's making more than $3,000 every 10 minutes, and they're like, nah, that's not worth my time.
We getting there, right money. We getting there, right money.
There's probably someone out there that would think that.
Well, I'll just tell you, folks, if you're out there today and you're making less than $3,000 per 10 minutes, I would highly recommend that you go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card because you can compare rates, you can save money. And the big goal, in my opinion, of building a business is to create time freedom and financial freedom. And in order to do that, you have to maximize your profits.
Holy crap.
Now, one way to maximize your profits is to increase your revenue. Another way to do it is to decrease your expenses.
It's a profit deal. It takes the pressure off.
JT, is there any other reason why somebody would not be willing to take 10 minutes to compare rates to see if they could save a total of $3,000 a year on average?
I am at a loss, and I cannot think of any other.
Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair. Conditioner is better. I leave the hair silky and smooth. Oh, really, fool? Really? Stop looking at me, Swan.
Well, let me tell you a good story here real quick here. I actually, years ago, compared rates with this company here called IPS. It's Integrated Payment Services. And I scheduled a consultation. I don't know that I was skeptical. I just thought, whatever, I'll take 10 minutes. I'll compare rates.
I can't tell.
You can tell me I'm a doctor.
No, I mean, I'm just not sure.
Or can't you take a guess?
Well, not for another 2 hours.
You can't take a guess for another 2 hours?
And in my case, in my particular case, I save over $20,000 a year.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Which is, like groceries when my wife goes to the organic stores.
Find everything you need today?
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Oh, God. No.
Everything okay, ma'am?
It's just that you've only scanned a few items and it's already $60. I'm so scared.
Okay, I'm a trained professional, ma'am. I've scanned a lot of groceries. I need you to stay with me.
It's just that my in-laws are in town and they want a charcuterie board.
Well, this isn't gonna be easy, so I need you to be brave, all right? What's your name?
Patricia.
Trisha, all right. I need you to take a deep breath. We're about to do the cheese.
That's the difference between eating organic and not organic. So because my wife eats organic, I had to take the 10 minutes needed to compare rates to save the $20,000 a year on credit card fees just for one of my companies.
One question, what's the brand name of the clock?
The brand name of the clock, Rod. Do we have name of the clock? It's an elegant from Ridgeway. It's from Ridgeway.
Let's
buy the clock
and sell the fireplace.
So I encourage everybody out there, go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card. You schedule a free consultation, request information. A member of our team will call you. They'll schedule a free consultation. It should take you 10 minutes or less. And they're going to compare rates and see if they can't save you more than $3,000 a year off of your credit card processing.
You were hoping what?
I wouldn't owe you money at the end of the day.
No, you don't owe us money.
Because at the end of the day, the goal of the business is to create time freedom and financial freedom. And in order to do that, you need to create additional profits.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. right now our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut, and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you are looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
If we go back 8 years ago, think about the number of clients you had back then versus the number of clients you have now. As a percentage, what has been the growth over the past 8 years, do you think? We got to inspire somebody out there who just doesn't have the time to listen to their calls.
Okay, so Clay, it's like I would go up and down from about $10,000 a month up to about $40,000, but it's up and down roller coaster, and so now we've got it to where we're in excess of 100 clients.
That's awesome.
And so I would have anywhere from 5 clients to 20 clients on my own with networking, but I had no control over it. I didn't. Without the systems, you're going to be victimized by your own business.
For somebody out there who struggles with math, if you, let's say that your average number of clients was 30 and you go to 100, as a percentage, what is that?
I have doubled every year since working with you. So I've doubled in clients, I've doubled in revenue every year. It's 100% growth every year I've worked with. Now, so I'm looking, we've been good friends 7-8 years, and I've got doubled 5 times.
Which is just incredible. I mean, the first time you do it, that's one thing, but when you do it repeatedly,
yeah,
I mean, that's unbelievable.
We're working our Blessed Assurance off this year to double. We're planning on doubling again. We're incorporating some new things in there to really help us do it, but we are going to double again this year. I started coaching, but it would go up and down, Clay. That's when I came to you, as I was going up and down, and I wanted to go up and up instead of up and down. And so that's when it needed a system. So creating a system is you have nailed down specific steps that you're going to take no matter how you feel, no matter the results. You lean into them and you do them regardless of what's happening. You lean into them, and it will give you X number of leads. You follow up with those leads, turns into sales. Well, I tell you, it's if you don't have a script and you don't have a system, then every day is a whole new creation. You're creating a lot of energy just to figure out what are you going to do.
Right.
And the best executives, Peter Drucker is a father of modern management. He said the most effective executives make one decision a year. What you do is you make a decision, what is your system, and then you work like the Dickens to make sure you follow that system. And so that's really what it's all about. So with a script here, we have a brand new gal that just came in working for us. She nailed down the script, and she's been nailing down appointments. Usually we try to get one appointment for every 100 calls. We make 200 to 300 calls a day per rep.
Right.
And she's been nailing down 5 and 8 appointments a day.
Somebody out there is having a hard time.
That script.
So she's making how many calls a day?
She's making between 200 and 300 calls a day.
Whoa. And our relationship is weird in that we do. If someone were to buy an Apple computer today,
yeah,
and or let's say you bought a personal computer, a PC, the computer is made by, let's say, Dell, but then the software in the computer would be Microsoft, let's say, or Adobe or whatever that is. So I basically make the systems, and you're like the computer and I'm like the software. It's kind of how I would describe our relationship.
Yeah.
Tim, I want to ask you this. You and I reconnected. I think it was in the year 2000 and what was it? Maybe 2010. Is that right? 2011, maybe, or no, maybe further down the road. Maybe 2013.
2012.
Okay, so 2012, and at that time I was 5 years removed from the DJ business, and you were how many years removed from tax and accounting software?
It was about 10, 11 years.
We met. How did we re-meet? What was the first interaction? There was some interaction where you and I first connected. I just remember that somehow you and I went to Hideaway Pizza. But do you remember when we first reconnected?
Yeah. Well, we had that speaking thing that.
There it was. So it was Victory Christian Center. I was speaking there.
My name is Robert Redmond. I actually first met Clay almost 3 years ago to the day. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but I wasn't working with him at the time. I asked to see him and just ask him some questions to help, direct my life, to get some mentorship. But I've been working with Clay for now just over a year. The role I play here is a business coach, business consultant. I work with different businesses, implementing best practice processes and systems that I have learned here by working with Clay. And the experience working here has, to put it real plainly, has been just life-changing. I have not only learned new things and have gained new knowledge, but I have gained a whole new mindset that I believe wherever I end up will serve me well throughout the rest of my life. Since working with Clay, I have learned so much. I mean, I would like to say almost everything about business in terms of the different categories. I haven't learned it all, but I've learned all about marketing. I've learned about advertising. I've learned about branding. I've learned how to create a sales process for organizations in any industry. I've learned how to sell. I've learned how to create repeatable systems and processes and hold people accountable. How to hire people. It's almost like every aspect of a business you can learn. I have learned a lot in those different categories. And then, again, the mindset that I've gained here has been huge. Working here, you can't be a mediocre person. You are a call to a higher standard of excellence. And then as you're called to that standard here, you begin to see those outcomes in every area of your life, that standard of excellence that you want to implement no matter what you're involved in. I would like to describe the other people that work with Clay are people that are going somewhere with their life. Marshall in the group interview talks about how the best fits for this organization are the people that are goal-oriented. So they're on their own trajectory, and we're on our own trajectory. And the best fits are those people where there can be a mutually beneficial relationship, that as we pursue our goals and we help the business pursue those goals, the business helps us pursue our goals as well. And so I'd say people that are driven, people that want to make something of their lives, people that are goal-oriented, they're focused, and they're committed to overcoming any adversity that may come their way. Clay's passion for helping business owners grow their businesses it's unique in that I don't know if there's anyone else that can be as passionate. Whenever a business starts working with Clay, it's almost as like Clay is running that business in the sense that he has something at stake. He's just serving them. They're one of his clients, but it's as if he is actively involved in the business. Whenever they have a win, he's posting it all over his social media. He's shouting it across the room here at Thrive. He's sending people encouraging messages. He can kind of be that life coach and business coach in terms of being that a motivator and that champion for people's businesses. It's again unique because there's no one else I've seen get so excited about and passionate about other people's businesses. The kind of people that wouldn't like working with Clay are people that are satisfied with mediocrity. People that want to get through life by just doing enough by just getting by. People who are not looking to develop themselves, people who are not coachable, people who think that they know it all and they're unwilling to change. I would say those are the type of people. In short, anyone that's content with mediocrity would not like working with Clay. So if you're meeting Clay for the first time, the advice I'd give you is definitely come ready to take tons of notes. Every time Clay speaks, he it gives you a wealth of knowledge that you don't want to miss. I remember the first time that I met Clay, I literally carried a notebook with me all around. I was looking at this notebook the other day, actually. I carried a notebook with me all around, and I just took tons of notes. I filled the entire notebook in about 3 or 4 months, just from being around Clay, following him, and learning from him. And then I would say, come coachable. Be open to learning something new. Be open to challenging yourself. Be open to learning and adjusting parts about you that need to be adjusted.